We need to talk about immigration.
Madam Kemi, the one where you talked before, no go down well with Nigerians, so...
I'm saying no more. The system is broken.
No be we break am, Madam Kemi. Britain follow cause this Japa syndrome.
It's time to tell the truth on immigration. And over the coming months, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Chime!
Viewers and subscribers, you're welcome back again on this platform where we tell you undiluted truth. This lady, Kemi Badenoch, have come with another knock on Africans especially and other people who are non-British in terms of the policy for immigration, and it's not settling down well with a lot of people.
We need to talk about immigration. The truth is that for nearly 30 years, mass migration has been far, far too high under all governments, by all parties, and not just here, too high all across the Western world. And it can't continue. We need a new approach. I'm the new leader of the Conservative Party, and we're going to do things differently. I'm saying no more. The system is broken. We can't go on like this, and we need to change. Let's break it down. 1. If immigration happens too quickly, there is no integration. The ties that bind us start to fray. It doesn't matter whether you are massively for immigration or massively against. Without a shared national identity, our country will suffer. When people come here, they must buy into the values, customs, and institutions that attracted them here in the first place. 2. The political class can't pretend that immigration comes only with benefits and no costs. We can all see the pressure on housing, roads, GPs, and wages. The failure of politics over the last 30 years has been to gloss over it or to make it a fringe issue. That has to stop. 3. We can no longer be naive. It's nonsense that we have allowed a situation where judges deem perfectly safe countries to be unsafe, that loopholes are willfully exploited by those coming here. Our institutions are failing. They've proven they are unable to determine who wants to contribute and who is simply exploiting our openness. Britain is a high-trust society, but we can't let our system be taken advantage of. So we need to do things differently. I want to rebuild the trust between the Conservative Party and the British people. I know we've got a lot of work to do, but the first step is to accept that mistakes were made. And that is what I will do. We got it wrong, and we are going to learn. When done right, limited immigration can work for this country. But it's no surprise that many people don't believe that anymore. The Conservatives are going to develop a detailed plan for immigration to put before you at the next election. Not the policies of Labour, which are going to fail, but a real plan that will, for the first time in 30 years, actually bring immigration right down and be honest with you about the trade-offs. It's time to tell the truth on immigration, and over the coming months, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Good. Now, many will liken her, if she is a white woman, to be like Trump, whom have been considered a racist because of his immigration policy. But now, this one is coming back home to Africa, not just back home to Africa, but precisely Nigeria, which is having the highest level of Japa syndrome. In case you are still considering Japaring to UK, you might reconsider that because they are tightening up their immigration policy. Now, let us address this thing that this girl have said here. To start with, Kemi, you are such a wonderful, intelligent politician, okay? But your recent comments, especially after the one that you talked about slave trade, colonization, and all of those things that caused a lot of dust, which I defended to a large extent, that we should blame ourselves instead of blaming the colonizers. Fine, because we cannot just continue living in the past. Now, in the present, Britain especially have not let go of their hold and grip on Africa, especially Nigeria, contributing to bad governance in Africa, particularly Nigeria, which have resulted in mass migration outside Africa. In fact, people are not migrating outside Africa. People are escaping from Africa. And you said you need a new approach. I think that approach needs to start from ensuring that Britain lets go of Africa to breathe for once. Because I tell you, if actually Africa was an El Dorado, to be honest with you, your parents wouldn't have relocated to Britain, where you now take pride as a British woman. And that is the truth. I can tell you, until the Europeans let go of Africa and allow it to breathe and develop, there will be continuous surge in a migration, whether legal migration or illegal migration. There must be a surge, and you continue being at the receiving end. I know you've always wanted immigration to exploit Africa, because the current immigration policies these countries are setting up is just to exploit Africa. They will call it highly skilled migrant. Highly skilled. You are exploiting the best of Africa to leave their shores and come and serve you in Europe and America and other places. Yeah? Because we don't need those wonderful doctors, those engineers, and the rest of them. I don't blame you. But your role in ensuring bad governance, your role in instituting corrupt politicians to head or lead African nations, is what is triggering this mass migration. So if you want a new approach, you have to change your approach on African policies, especially when it comes to leadership and governance. So let us not just be deceiving ourselves by making wonderful speech. Okay? Today there is bad economy. A lot of people are living in droves. The best you want is people who will come for what do you call it? International student, they call it. I couldn't stay in Britain because of I look at myself as a modern slave. That's why I have to respect myself and come back home and live my quiet life and ensure and fight that we'll have a better society here. That is the truth. So that people will not be running away in droves to go and school, whereas we can have wonderful schools. Most of those lecturers there, even in my school when I schooled in Britain, majority of the lecturers there are not British origins. They are all immigrants. So wonderful teachers are all exploited. If you go to their hospital, I never attended, throughout my time in the UK, I never went to any hospital. But I knew that majority of the hospitals across those places in the US, America, and US, Europe, and Britain are mostly Africans, especially Nigerians. The best of everything we have, you take them all, leaving us behind with only native doctors here. And you are here just painting words. Just go and check. Every time they change immigration rule, every day, every time they make new policies on immigration, not to better the lives of the people outside Britain. I know it's not their fault. They have to look out for themselves first. But it is also their fault when they are determined with their international policies or foreign policies in Africa, especially to exploit them. And that is why I'm making this video. And that is why our people must understand, especially Africans, particularly Nigerians, running away from here is not the best. If we cannot sit back and fight to make this place a better place, there is nothing wonderful about the Western world. That is the truth. Our weather is wonderful. Okay? Our food are the best. The only problem we have here is bad governance. Why can't we fix our schools so that education will be a mandatory right of a citizen? Education, free one. And if you must attend university, government can give you loan and mandate you to work, because they will have provisions for you to work, because there are a lot of work for you to be done. If it is a well-developed economy, there are a lot of things to do. All the public utilities, like hospitals, like roads, fix them. Electricity, have them working. Industry springing up. People, we have energetic people who are running and jappering up. If they can have good work to do here, I will tell you, it will reduce immigration pressure in our outside. If our political leaders, if we have the right people in power, Africans will not be jabbering the way they are doing to go and become a modern slave. And that is particularly why I decided to come back. I know some people will say it is my village people that called me back to Nigeria. But I can tell you, I know what we are doing. And it is somebody that is going to make that sacrifice. While we're making that sacrifice, I'm not saying that you shouldn't travel or migrate, but let us have the right mindset. Let us think Africa first. Let us think homeland first, especially my people, the Igbos. It has to start from my own homeland. That is why we continue pushing for good governance in our homeland. Because all you talk about poverty, hunger, insecurity, all of them are just products of bad governance. So, my people, if you believe in this message, support what GGM is doing. Be an ambassador of GGM. Partner with GGM. Sponsor this message and the mobilization of the people so that whenever we have an opportunity to change corrupt politicians, people of questionable characters will be able to do so. If we have well-informed people, especially in our homeland here, to be honest with you, these charlatans that call themselves political class will not have their way to recycle themselves in power. And if the agitators can channel their energy and force to ensure that these corrupt politicians don't access power, rather, people who share your aspiration will be in power. I can tell you, to a large extent, will be free. Freedom from bad governance is ultimate freedom that will guarantee all other freedom we are asking for. And that is the position of GGM. Support what we're doing. Partner with us. Sponsor our activities. Make sure that this voice doesn't go down. Share the message to everyone. Follow us on all our social media platforms. On TikTok, follow us there. Search BVI Channel 1 so that we can spread this message to that place because people are active there. Search BVI Channel 1 on TikTok. We need to start going live there. Please do. If we have people who are watching this video and they search BVI Channel 1 on TikTok especially, and on Twitter, X, and also on Instagram, we want to push our message to those places so that more people will be able to be getting this message every day. I still remain as the advocate for good governance. What's your thought on it? Drop it in the comment section. Bye-bye for now. GGN, uniting the people for good governance.